If your sales slow down the moment that you stop showing up, posting, or promoting, then your business may be relying on effort instead of structure. Now, when your growth depends on constant activity, it's exhausting and it's very unstable as well. And let me tell you, I know. I hear this from people who feel like they can never take a break. And I used to be one of those people, one of those business owners. I felt like, as long as I'm staying active, sales are going to happen, right? Because as soon as I step back, everything's going to stop. So I got to keep going. But that's not really the problem, right? The problem is direction. You need direction. You need to know exactly where you're headed with your marketing and what you need to say in your message. So, what that means is that your business hasn't been set up to actually guide your buyers without you having to be present at every single step. So, here's an example that you can maybe understand a little better, right? Think about a store that only opens when the owner feels like it. Okay. So customers might buy when the door is open, but there's no rhythm. They don't know when the door is going to be open because the owner is not consistent with how they are operating. They don't have a system in place. So if the owner gets sick and can't open the store, guess what? The store doesn't open. Right. So over time, people will stop checking to see if the store is even open. They'll just stop going altogether. Marketing actually works the same way. Okay, when direction is unclear, buyers only act when you're actively pushing the door open for them, so to speak, right? So, what's likely going wrong is that your marketing doesn't clearly lead people from interest to decision on its own, right? They might be interested, but you're not showing them how to actually make a decision and buy, right? You have the store there, but you're not leaving the door open for them when they are ready to actually make the purchase. Does that make sense? Right? So it depends on your conversations, your reminders, your extra explanations, things like that. And that actually creates very short bursts of sales instead of steady movement. These little, when you don't have a system in place, right? These are very sporadic, just inconsistencies. Okay. But what you should think about is when you have consistent sales coming from a clear direction or clear path, right? You don't need to be present all the time. You don't have to be there. You don't have to show up physically to do all these things because when your message, your offer, and the way you positioned your content and your systems, right? When everything's aligned, buyers can move forward without needing you to personally guide you or guide them in every step. Does that make sense? So here's an action. You can take it today, okay? Map out one simple path, one direction on how somebody should follow you from the first time that they're interested all the way to purchase, right? So map out what that would look like, right? How they get interested, then from interest, what would they have to see for them to feel like, you know what, I'd want to take that step and actually purchase, right? Okay, write that down. Write down that process. Ask yourself, where would confusion slow your buyer down? Right? What part of that process will slow your buyer down from making a decision like that? Okay. Then, if there is something that feels like it would slow them down, then make sure you clarify that step with a very clear message or explanation in that part. So that way, when they go through that journey again, right? When they're going through your process of from interest all the way to making this purchase, they already have the information. They know it. You don't have to be there. The message is there. It's clear, right? So small clarity creates lasting stability. Okay, just little nuggets of being clear, right? Just little nuggets of do you understand? Do you get it? But doing it in a way that you don't have to always physically post it yourself to stay consistent and for your buyers to engage. Does that make sense? So here's one takeaway from this, okay? If sales stop or they slow down when you stop, right? That means your marketing needs clearer direction. right? Structure only creates consistency. So find your structure. And then remember that effort alone does not find that consistency. You can't just keep posting and can't just keep following up and doing more, right? It's not the doing more. It's how can you do less, right? But say more with your messaging so that it leads to more sales. If you want more insights like this, follow me on LinkedIn to see how I help fix slow or inconsistent sales growth with clear marketing direction. I appreciate your support, my friend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, then like and subscribe to support Brand Impact 365 with LaMorvielle. And if you are struggling with your brand impact, then watch the next video.